One of the easiest ways to make more money immediately as a freelancer that doesn't involve anyone besides yourself, no new clients, no increase in sales, no increase in razor budgets, is to cut your expenses in your freelancing career. And I'm gonna share an example where I literally gave myself a $20,000 raise in 1 year by doing this. First, you absolutely need to give yourself permission to shift your mindset regarding how you run your business. Cutting your business expenses dramatically is exciting in theory when you break it down, but once you put it into place, it becomes very, very difficult in practice. This is hard work. And if you need to increase your take-home salary as a freelancer, listen up and prepare yourself to make some difficult choices and make some more money. You want to ask yourself, what can you do to increase your salary in the next year outside of sales? Increase your pre-tax profit margin. Let's say your business makes $102,000 in sales. It costs you $28,000 hiring subcontractors to help you film and edit, and you spend another $34,000 on operating costs like business insurance, education, and office space. You're gonna take your total sales, you're gonna subtract the cost of goods sold plus operating costs. That's gonna give you your net income. Your net income is then divided by your total sales. That is your pre-tax profit margin. If you're digging this video, click the thumbs up. Here's an example of what cuts would look like for increasing your pre-tax profit margin. Let's say your business is moving along at a pre-tax profit margin of roughly 43% and sales are roughly $170,000 year after year. The formula for the pre-tax profit margin lands your freelance salary at roughly $73,000 a year. But then in year 3, your sales fall to $102,000 for the year. Your pre-tax profit margin dips to 39%, resulting in your salary taking a big hit, and you're only taking home $40,000 that year. So you make massive cuts to your business expenses and your subcontractors for the upcoming year 4. Then in year 4, your sales are even less at $98,000, but you pay yourself $60,000 for a salary. That's a $20,000 increase in your salary from the previous year. How? Because you cut your expenses and your pre-tax profit margin is now at an all-time high of 61%. What I just outlined happened to me. I've changed the numbers around slightly as I'm not completely willing to share the specifics of my business earnings with you guys. But what is important is that the percentages and how everything worked out for me is exactly what I shared in the example. What do you think? Drop a comment below. I took my pre-tax profit margin from 39% to 61% in 1 year by making massive changes to how I ran my business. It wasn't easy. It was many steps backwards from a level of comfort I had grown accustomed to. I had an office. I had a kegerator. I had a good friend working with me all the time. I had a water bubbler with jugs being delivered twice a week. It was dope. Chill vibes Nick was stoked. Businessman Nick was rip shit. So I started making cuts. I started doing the work instead of subcontracting the work. If I could do it myself, I did it. That can be a tough choice to make. Your level of subcontracting needs for your business is probably going to vary greatly depending on the size of your business and your goals. I'm speaking from the point of view of a freelancer primarily. I often do hire subcontractors for crew, but I am not a business with multiple employees. If you have an opportunity to run your business lean, by doing a little more of the work yourself, that's an easy way to pay yourself more money immediately. If you're already doing that, then you can't cut costs there. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe below. Then for your business expenses, cut everything that you can. And this is really, really hard to do because you're not gonna want to cut out a lot of the things that you can cut out. So it's, do I absolutely need this to run my business right now versus do I want this to run my business right now? You need to make a definitive line and cut everything else to save money immediately. So you need to think about renegotiating your cell phone contract, renegotiating your internet contract. Maybe you're paying for the best internet. Maybe you don't need the best internet. Maybe you need to bring it back a little bit, save 25 bucks a month. You can look at your insurance. I literally just now in this current atmosphere, I cut my inland marina insurance I still have my general business liability, but I just cut my inland marina because I'm not going to be on set because we're all in our stay-at-home situation. So I'm saving money by cutting that temporarily, and then remove all unnecessary educational programs and material if you can't afford that. Remove all unnecessary subscriptions. So I often have Netflix and Hulu and HBO, Disney Plus, things like that to watch films and research films, and that's a expense for me. But right now it's like, cut them all out, right? Cut your advertising budget. Stop spending money on advertising, whatever form that takes for you. Think about how you can reduce all of those costs and maybe get thrifty with it and do things like, maybe you're not going to spend money on client gifts. Maybe you make a client gift for your client, right? If you have an office space outside of your home or a shared workspace, get rid of it. Move back home for the time being. You're going to save a lot of money by doing that. And then the last biggest one is to reassess your relationship with gear. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. In the beginning of my career, I spent a bunch of money on equipment. And then after years and years and years of it, I looked at it and I was like, I didn't need half this stuff. So if you can reassess your ability to look at your equipment as an expense for your business, not as a toy to create, that's going to help you as a business professional, which is super, super important. I've got a ranty video about gear that you guys should watch if you need help with assessing your relationship with equipment. I'll link that above and below for you guys to check out. If you're looking for valuable tools to help you become a successful freelance filmmaker, I have a ton at nixfort.com/shop. Producer kit, contract kit, client kit, pricing worksheet, cinema LUTs, all that good stuff. Go check it out. Ask yourself, what can you do to minimize your expenses for the long term in your business? What work makes sense to have a subcontractor do versus what work should you really be doing yourself? You need to think about that. Really think about that. If you can keep your business small and simple, you can keep your margins high. The less subcontractors you have and the lower overhead you have, the more money you get to keep yourself. And then there might be a point down the road where your sales increase and you need to increase your costs of running your business. But at that point, remember that simply bringing in more cash doesn't mean you're making a bigger profit. As you grow your business, continue to maximize your margins, and in downtimes, make as many cuts as you can, then keep them in the good times, and you'll be able to make a higher profit. And honestly, it takes a lot of self-restraint to not buy stuff, especially when you have the money and the times are good. It takes even more willpower to remove all the lovely things you might have grown accustomed to in order to pay yourself a better wage and save money for a rainy day. But when that rainy day shows up, I bet you'll be a lot less stressed if you've saved up some money. If you're finding this helpful, please share this video with someone else who will also find it helpful. Saying no is a hard skill to build up, but in the long run, it can help you through the hard times. When money all of a sudden becomes tight, you will have a cash reserve and you will have low cost to maintain your business. So review your business expenses, make cuts aggressively, take pride in the thriftiness. And one day that might be the reason that your business doesn't go out of business. So basically, blah, 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 blah. Basically, blah, 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 blah.